everybody and welcome back to my channel now. In today's video I'm going to be doing a first impressions on the L'Oreal True Match foundation. And I know this foundation is not new by any means, but I've heard so many people say so many good things about it. My friend also recommended it to me and said it was a really good foundation, especially for her oily skin. So I thought, as I am kind of getting more oily skin as I'm getting older, that I would try this foundation out, and I thought I may as well do a first impressions for you guys. So that is what I'm going to be doing for you guys today. So if you want to see my first impressions and my review on this foundation, then just keep watching. So I got mine in the shade 1.5 Linen. Now at first I did buy the shade, like I think it was 3.5, and I got it home and it was so dark. I didn't quite realise how dark it was when I was in the shop. So when you're in the shop, I think foundations always look lighter than they are, and when I got home and I realised it was way too dark, so I picked up a different shade and I think this is the second to lightest shade, which is a bit silly really, because I think that I'm not that pale. Like, there's a lot of people that are a lot more pale than me, and they might actually do more shades than what there was in the shop, because there is 24 shades in total and there wasn't 24 shades in the Superdrug that I went into. I think online there is a bigger range of shades, but yeah, that is the shade that I picked up. So the foundation is originally £10, which I actually don't think is too expensive, especially for a drugstore foundation. I think that's kind of like the average price that you would pay, but at the moment in Superdrug, if you have a health and beauty card, you actually get £2 off. So it's actually £8 in Superdrug at the moment, which I think is so good. But if you don't have a health and beauty card, don't worry. If you go in and register you with one, you'll get the discount as well. Really handy to go and pick this up on offer if you want to pick it up at all. I might actually go back and buy another shade of this. As you can probably tell from this intro, I do actually really like the foundation. I might go and buy another shade for when I'm fake tanned. That is how much it is. I think that's actually a really good price for how much product you get in the pot. Now the foundation is supposed to match 98% of skin tones, which I think is amazing. That is so good. They have such a wide range of colours, which I think is perfect, because a lot of foundation, they're either just too light, too dark, or you just can't find your shade at all. So it's really good that they have a lot of shades in the range so you can find your perfect shade. I really recommend going in and testing it out though if you can. Really kind of test it on many areas of your face. I always kind of test my foundations in this sort of area here if I can. You can do it on the neck, but they say not to, just because your neck is normally kind of darker than your face. It depends whether you fake tan and you match your foundation to your body colour, or whether you match it to your face colour. So yeah, let's just get into the demo and see what I think when I apply the foundation. So I'm just pumping a bit on my finger and then I'm just going to spread it around my face. Not sure quite how much I'm going to need, so I'm going to go with this for now and see how it looks. But what I'm going to be doing is blending it in with a brush, just because I prefer kind of spreading out the product with a brush, because I feel like if you blend it straight away with a sponge, sometimes it can soak up a lot of the product, whereas if you kind of go in with a brush, it really allows you to spread it around the face before any excess product gets soaked up, if that makes sense. So first I'm just going to go over with this 6 Plus kind of buffing brush and buff it into the skin. By the way, I am actually not using a primer today, just because I want to see how well it lasts when I don't use a primer compared to when I do use a primer, because obviously not everyone will have the primer that I use, and not everyone will find the same primer works for their skin as it does mine. So that's why I'm just not going to use one today. But so far that's blended really nicely, and I didn't have a lot on my face at all, and that's blended really well and has actually covered up like my whole entire face, if that makes sense. So yeah, really happy with how that's spread out. I'd say it's got like a medium coverage, because it has definitely covered some of my like blemishes and stuff, so it's not like a light coverage, it is a medium coverage. I wouldn't say it's a full coverage though. I'm not sure whether you'd be able to build it up or not, but personally I'm really happy with a medium coverage. So I'm just going to go over now with a damp Real Technique sponge and just kind of bounce it into the skin, just to make sure there's no like brush streaks or anything like that. So I'm actually really liking how that looks on the skin. It looks so natural. Like, it really doesn't look like I'm wearing foundation at all. even though I would say it's a good medium coverage. So yeah, really happy with how that looks. I've never really bought this foundation before because quite a lot of people said it was kind of like a matte foundation, and obviously I didn't want a matte foundation to appear like cakey at all or dry on the skin, but now I'm getting older, I'm actually getting kind of more oily skin rather than dry skin, so I get dry patches around this kind of area of my face, and then in my T-zone I do tend to get quite oily, so obviously a matte foundation is better for me. Normally I use the Maybelline Fit Me and that works really well, but I do tend to get quite oily in the T-zone area, so hopefully with this foundation it will stop me getting oily in that area. So I'm just going to go ahead and apply the rest of my makeup and then I will be back. So overall I absolutely love this foundation so far. It looks so natural on the skin, like it really doesn't look like I'm wearing foundation at all, although it does make your skin look really nice and flawless. I was really worried that it was going to be really cakey, but it isn't cakey in the slightest. I absolutely love how natural this looks. I really am one for a natural foundation, although I do kind of like light to medium coverage, so this is a medium coverage and yet it still looks natural, so it's perfect for me. So if you're like me and you like that sort of foundation, then I really recommend picking this one up. I'm filming this at 8:30 and I'm probably going to come back around lunchtime to check in and see how well the foundation is lasting. The lighting will not be the best, but I just want to show you how well the foundation is lasting throughout the day, just so that you get an idea of the longevity of the foundation. So yeah, so far so good, and I'm absolutely loving this foundation. Hello everybody, so it's now 3:30 and I've had this foundation on for 7 hours. Now personally I actually think it's looking really good. It has gone a little bit shiny in my T-zone, but nowhere near as shiny as another foundation would. So far it's actually lasted really well. It has like caked up a little bit around here, but I think that could just be due to my oily skin. So if you have kind of combination to dry skin, I would definitely recommend this foundation for you. If you have extreme oily skin, then this may not be the foundation for you, because my skin is looking a little bit oily and I don't have the oiliest skin. That's nothing that a bit of blotting paper wouldn't fix. Normally I do have to kind of go over my face about halfway through the day with a bit of blotting paper just to soak up any excess oil. But if you do have really oily skin and you want to try out this foundation, I would definitely recommend using an anti-shine primer, just so it stops as many oils as possible getting through your skin. Nothing really more to say. I'm really happy with how it looks. It looks a little bit oily, but I think that is just my skin. I think if I wore a kind of anti-shine primer, that would prevent me going oily. But yeah, so happy with how it looks. It's lasted really well. I've had it on for 7 hours now, and typically I wouldn't wear my foundation much longer than that. Probably keep on this foundation for a couple more hours. So what I would do is I will leave in the description box down below my kind of final thoughts and whether it got any more oily or anything like that, just so you guys kind of have more of an idea of how long the foundation lasts. But typically I don't think anyone will wear the foundation much longer than like 10 hours. So really happy with this foundation. I would definitely recommend it if you're wanting to buy it. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Give it a big thumbs up if you did. It really would mean the world. And subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!